When HQPlayer goes wrong, most people make the same mistake. They start changing things too quickly. A filter here, a buffer there, a different output mode, just to see if it helps. And very often, the moment they do that, the original problem becomes harder to recognize. This video is not about fixing HQPlayer with clever settings. It's about diagnosing what kind of problem you're actually dealing with, restoring a stable baseline, and knowing what to undo before you touch anything else. If your system is already unstable, this video will help you work out why. If your system sounds flat, edgy, or incoherent but nothing is obviously broken, this video will help you identify where that usually comes from. And if everything sounds good right now, this video will help you avoid breaking it later. The key idea to hold in mind is simple. Most HQPlayer problems are not caused by a single setting. They are caused by changing the wrong layer of the system first. So the goal here is not optimization, it's sequence. The first question you should always ask is not what should I change, it's what kind of failure am I seeing. The most basic distinction is this: is the system unstable, or is it stable but degraded? If you are hearing dropouts, stuttering, buffer underruns, or playback stopping unexpectedly, that is a stability problem. If playback is smooth, but the sound feels flat, tense, oddly timed, or fatiguing, that is not a stability problem. Those two situations look similar on forums, but they should be approached very differently. If the system is unstable, the worst thing you can do is start changing sound quality options. Filters, modulators, and fine-grained tweaks should be left alone at this stage. Instead, you want to check three things. First, CPU headroom. If CPU usage is consistently high, especially during track changes or complex passages, the system is operating too close to the edge. The correct response here is not cleverness, it's simplification. Reduce sample rate, reduce filter complexity, restore defaults if needed. Second, output device selection. Make sure HQPlayer is explicitly connected to the intended DAC, not a system default or a virtual device. This sounds obvious, but it accounts for a surprising number of problems. Third, recent changes. If instability appeared after a change in preferences, network configuration, or operating system behavior, undo that change before doing anything else. Stability problems should always be solved by removing stress, not by adding features. Once playback is stable, stop. Do not continue improving things yet. If you're finding this way of thinking useful, this is a good point to subscribe. This channel focuses on understanding systems before adjusting them, and on avoiding changes that quietly make things worse. Now, consider the second case. Playback is stable, but the sound doesn't feel right. This is where many people misdiagnose the problem. They assume they need more resolution, more detail, or more sophistication. In reality, stable but degraded sound usually comes from global behavior changes, not fine detail. The most common cause is changes in the preferences menu that affect timing, buffering, or latency. These options are attractive because they sound technical and purposeful. Lower latency, more responsiveness, tighter behavior. But, unless you are addressing a specific, observed issue, these changes often reduce coherence and increase sensitivity to system variation. If sound quality has degraded but nothing is unstable, the safest diagnostic step is to restore preferences to a known conservative baseline. Not permanently, just as a test. If coherence returns, you've identified the layer where the problem lives. This is why blindly copying good settings from another system is so risky. Two systems can have similar hardware and still behave very differently once global assumptions are changed. Another common diagnostic error is confusing network or operating system interaction issues with audio processing problems. If issues appear only under load, only after long sessions, or only intermittently, resist the urge to tune. Instead, simplify the chain, remove variables, reduce concurrency, confirm repeatability. Diagnosis is about isolation, not enhancement. Once you have restored a stable, coherent baseline, only then does it make sense to reintroduce changes, and only one at a time. This is where most troubleshooting guides go wrong. They tell you what to change. They don't tell you when to stop. Here is a simple rule that will save you a great deal of time. If you cannot clearly describe the problem you are trying to fix, you are not troubleshooting, you are experimenting. Experimentation is fine, but it should never be confused with diagnosis. Good diagnosis reduces options. It does not multiply them. In later videos, I'll go into more detail on specific areas, including how to think about preferences, options in groups, and how to tell whether a change is affecting timing, stability, or system interaction, rather than sound quality itself. But none of that matters if the diagnostic sequence is wrong. HQPlayer has a reputation for being difficult. In practice, it is very consistent when it is allowed to be. Most frustration comes from changing higher-risk system assumptions before lower-level stability is confirmed. The aim of troubleshooting is not to find the perfect setting. It is to return the system to a state where further decisions are safe. Once you can do that reliably, HQPlayer becomes much easier to live with. If you found this diagnostic approach useful, you may want to subscribe and enable notifications. Future videos will build on this framework, including deeper dives into preferences, advanced options, and how to explore changes without breaking a coherent system.